One of the biggest theories surrounding Kehlani's music centers around her song Folded. Online communities began circulating a claim that the song references an alleged ritual involving folded clothing and energetic attachment. According to the theory, folding clothes for another person creates a spiritual or emotional bond when the individual wears those clothes afterwards. Now, I want us to look at this really quick because this is really important. When we are watching the music video, you actually see her wearing and using white clothes to represent this folding process, okay? Now, the reason why white clothes are so important is because when you are looking at it from a religious perspective, white clothes have always been used within religions and within different practices to show purity and connection, okay? So let's look this up. I want you guys to see this, okay? White clothing in Santeria religion, okay? Now, in Santeria, white or all white clothing symbolizes purity, peace, and spiritual alignment, representing a deep commitment to the orishas and rebirth of the self, okay? Very important. Now, watch this. Now, we're going to look up what it means when you fold the clothes. Please pay attention to this. This is really important. Okay? When you are looking at the Santeria, white clothing is worn by initiated priests for a full year to symbolize purity, spiritual rebirth, and devotion to the orishas or Apatala. Okay? The clothing must be kept impeccably clean and modest, representing a shield that reflects negative energy and marks a period of profound spiritual discipline, okay? In some other religions, there are people that explain, or there are religions that explain that when you fold the clothes and when you are putting them together and you are putting them in a neat pile, it's a ritual. That's part of, okay? When this ritual is enacted, when you fold the clothes and you give it to the person who is the subject of the clothing being offered, that person is going to be spiritually bonded to you. You are initiating that ritual between you guys. So, for example, if I fold my clothes for my wife, if I fold her clothes for her, I wash her clothes. So that's a ritual. You wash their clothes, right? That's a sign of respect. You fold their clothes. That's a ritual. You give the clothes to them. It is a soul bond. Okay? So a lot of people online started saying, wait a minute, her religion does have some elements of this. There are other elements of this same idea in other religions and beliefs, right? When you fold the clothing and you give it to somebody, very important, right? It connects the two people. So this is what started to kind of scare individuals into thinking, okay, maybe this song is deeper than we thought it was, right? Now, although there are several different religions that have this kind of ritual, we are not aware of as to whether or not that is what she was trying to depict in her music video or through the lyrics. Because even as you read the lyrics, which we will, you'll start to listen to it and begin to say, that's kind of odd, right? That's a little odd. So let's listen to it, okay? Or rather, I'm going to read it to you, okay? Because these lyrics, listen to this. So can you come pick up your clothes? I have them folded. Meet me at the door while it's still open. So that's a sign of entrance, right? That's a sign of openness. You're letting the person in, right? It says, I know it's getting cold out, but it's not frozen. So come pick up your clothes. I have them folded, right? So again, if we're going off the idea that this is some type of like ritual, that she's trying to bond herself to this person, she's inviting them into the house. She's giving them an offering by saying, please come in. I'm opening the door. Here are your clothes. They're clean, they're pressed, and they're folded. All right. Now, this is where the lyrics start to, this is where people started to, okay, something's going on here. All right. Listen to this. I'll let your body decide if this is good enough for you. Already folded it for you. Already folding it for you. I'll let your body decide if this is good enough for you. Now, that's kind of odd, isn't it? Because this is not a story of somebody who's having makeup sex. This is not a story of somebody who's coming by the house and them and Kehlani are getting back intimate with each other physically. No. She is saying, when I give you these clothes Instead of me trying to convince you to stay, instead of me trying to convince you to love me, I'm going to let the clothes be worn by you that has been imbued with the spiritual energy during this ritual. I'm going to give these clothes to you. And when you wear these clothes, your body is going to decide if this is good enough for you. Am I good enough for you? And the only way that's going to happen is if you wear these clothes. Guys, that sounds like a ritual to me. The full video version of this podcast episode will only be available on my Patreon. $5 a month. It's just $5 a month. You know, you're going to enjoy all of the video goodness. I have all these graphics that are going to pop up, pictures and videos that you won't be able to see or hear on Spotify or Apple Music or any podcast platform because of copyright. So if you want to watch or see that or listen to it, please come to the Patreon. That is patreon.com/The Song Theory Podcast. If you want to watch the exclusive video version of this podcast. And for those of you that are already on here from Patreon, welcome and thank you. A lot of people think that sounds like a ritual because when you imbue the clothes, you wash them, you do the ritual, right? You perform the act, you give the clothes to the person wears the clothes. Kehlani is literally saying in the song, I'm not going to say a word. When you wear those clothes, your body is going to decide what happens next. Put the clothes on, you feel spiritually bonded and connected to Kehlani, you go running back. Because the energy, whatever energy that's in those clothes, has been bonded to you. And now you start thinking about them. You start feeling, what's she doing right now? Oh my God, where's she at? Oh man, I can't stop thinking about her. Because the clothes had the energy inside of them. And once the ritual was completed, it was completed by way of you wearing those clothes. That's how that person completed the ritual, by putting on the clothes that she washed, pressed, and folded. Right? The rest of the song is no different because, again, the rest of the song is just, it's constantly saying, I'll let your body decide if this is good enough for you. I'll let your body decide if this is good enough for you, over and over and over again, because she is telling us that this is not about what she says. It's about what the clothes will do after the ritual is complete. That's crazy. That's crazy. Right? And of course, people listen to this and they're like, what? Man, no, that doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? And then I say, okay, well, let's look at the music video, right? Because I'm not one to just, have this one-dimensional theory or this one-dimensional idea. Let's look at the music video. When you look at the music video, and you can only see this if you're on Patreon, okay? Patreon.com/The Song Theory Podcast. If you want to see this full podcast and everything I'm showing, you can't watch it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can't do that. You got to come here, The Song Theory Podcast on Patreon to see what I'm looking at. Okay. So come on over. It's only $5 a month. That's it to see a full video podcast of every episode. Guys, that's nothing. That's less than a cup of coffee, depending on what kind of coffee you drink. So come on over, The Song Theory Podcast on Patreon to see what I'm seeing and to get engaged with what we're looking at. Okay. Now watch this. Okay. So again, we're going off the assumption or going off the idea that the ritual is being enacted when she when she cleans, press, and folds these clothes. Also keep in mind, this entire music video takes place in a laundromat. Okay. Now watch this. Look at how she is using the clothes within her dance. Now, I don't know if you guys understand how rituals work, especially with regards to different religions and clothing, but there are so many religions that use clothes or rags or robes in order to kind of energize the dance or energize the performance. Okay. They use flags. They use clothing. In this particular video, she's using the shirt. Now, from what I'm watching, this is the shirt that is being used to be folded to be given back to the person of interest here. She does an entire ritualistic dance with the shirt. Look. She rubs it against her body. She rubs it against her butt. She rubs it in between her legs. She rubs it against her chest. This is quite clearly what some would see as a ritual. And she's using the clothes and putting it over all her important parts of her body, right? All the parts of her body that her partner or individual would be interested in, right? So she's rubbing, and right now, if you guys can't see this right now, I'm rubbing all over my body. You guys should see it. Oh my gosh. But you can't because you're listening in. But if you come watch it on the Song Theory Podcast Patreon, you can see it, right? But this is what she looks like. She's rubbing all over her body, the clothes all in her, areas, right? And then when she folds the clothes up and gives them to the subject, the person can smell the clothes. They can, feel the energy in the clothing, and boom, the ritual is complete. Right? And this is what I'm trying to explain to people. Although you may say, hey man, listen, I'm not really religious. I really don't believe in all that. That's okay. I'm just telling you what is possible. I'm telling you what the theory is. I'm telling you that this is what everyone saw. And when those like myself who have conspiracy theory minds, we were like, that's kind of sus. That's all. It's kind of sus. Right? And I think that's the part that I want people to understand, is that really at the end of the day, when you look at it as a whole, it's just like, wow, that's interesting. But that's not all though. Okay? Because again, fans argue that Folded feels less like a breakup song and more like a song about emotional possession, energetic ties, or spiritual longing. Some theorists interpret the song as describing soul attachment or ritualized acts of intimacy. And then, of course, you put spiritual influence through personal belongings. Look at how she danced in the video. Look at what she did with the shirt. And there's more. And that's the thing. It's not like Kehlani just made this song and that was it. No. This isn't it, right? Because there are other songs that have very spiritual themes in them. Specifically, some believe witchcraft themes. And let's talk about them, okay?